Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Pirate News. I'm Aiden Rawson.
And I'm Brooke Story.
Our top story of the day is a worldwide exclusive interview with the one and only Ross Tebow.
In other news, the junior prom was held on April 28th at J. Anthony's. The prom was a big success according to both staff and students, and King Max Shepard as well as Queen Hannah Caraba. A big shout out goes to the class of 2018 on putting such a successful prom on.
And now we'll turn things over to our sports correspondent, Michael McCarthy, with an update on our spring sports.
The softball team has a 10-4 record 14 games into the season and have just recently qualified for districts. When asked about this year's team, senior captain Carly Parmenter said, "We did not make districts last year, so it's a great accomplishment for us. We have a very young team full of freshmen and sophomores, but we all play with a lot of heart and love for the game."
In an update for the boys varsity baseball team, they have had an amazing season this year with a season record of 12-8. It is also worth mentioning that the varsity team has qualified for districts along with the varsity softball team. We would also like to congratulate David Meach on getting his 100th career hit versus Auburn in this week's game. We wish all of our teams the best of luck with continuing with their season.
On Saturday, May 13th, Oxford girls and boys track and field participated in districts in Lunenburg, Massachusetts. 8 girls and 5 boys from Oxford High School competed in this year's district finals, the most participants from our school in recent years. The girls and boys had practiced a lot more in specific areas before districts and worked much harder, said their coach, Mr. Tarkovsky. The meet at Bartlett on Wednesday, May 10th, was very big for the girls and boys because it allowed them to get more practice before the finals. Here's a list of who the girls and boys were and what they competed in. For the boys, Jason Gomez Vera did the 800 and the 1 mile. Jared Orell did the 800 and 2 mile. Mike Peliquin did the javelin. James Catroni did the discus. Rich Lasseur did the triple jump. For the girls, Amanda Jeevry did the 1 mile sprint in the 4x400. Lauren Hart did the 4x400. Lindsay Carr did the 200 meter high jump and the 4x400. Bailey Brusha did the 100 meter hurdles in the 4x400. Adriana Lessier did the 100 meter in the 4x400. Peyton Coonan will be doing the high jump in the 4x400. Bernadette Lessier will be doing the 4x100. Kayla Robinson will be doing the 100 meter in the 4x100.
The Ultimate Frisbee team with founders David Peliquin, Adam Germain, and Shane McCarthy have reported around 30 people to come and play every Monday and Thursday, with more to come and participate. Teachers sometimes join in like Mrs. Levy and Mrs. Castingway. The school store is currently selling Frisbees for $10. These Frisbees have the Oxford Pirates logo and are available during lunchtime. Stop by and play every Monday and Thursday at 3:30. All are welcome.
And now to our staff reporter, Timothy Melanson, with an update on the National Art Honor Society induction, as well as the Night of the Arts.
This year's art show, which took place the night of April 27th, was by far the most successful event of its kind that OHS has held in years. One of the most important factors that played into the overwhelming turnout was the inclusion of the entire district in the show, meaning a much larger portion of students, along with their families, were in attendance. Simultaneously in the Media Center was the first National Art Honor Society induction to be held at OHS, where the students were all individually recognized for their art. Included in the first batch of NAHS inductees were senior Rebecca Hope, juniors Logan Warman, Emily Pellerin, and Hannah Caraba, along with sophomores Bridget Langren, Ava Krantz, and Tiffany Vo.
And now over to Michael Warren with a report on the second open mic night of the year.
The latest open mic night was held in conjunction with the annual Night of the Arts held by the Art Department. The performances included poetry, singing, and saxophone playing. The audience was much larger than the previous event, and Miss Castingway is looking forward to putting the event on again sometime soon.
Now we're going to turn the news desk over to our new reporter, Michael De La Cruz, who has a story on Spread the Word to End the Word.
On April 11th, Oxford High School's Best Buddies and Student Council held their annual Spread the Word to End the Word assembly. The purpose of this assembly was to raise awareness to the harmful effects of using the R word. In addition, the Best Buddies' mission is to help foster an inclusive school environment for all of our students. Along with speakers from Oxford's Best Buddies group, we brought out our friend Nick Giovanazzo from Neshoba Regional High School to share his words on the subject itself and explain how the R word affects him on a personal level. Nick also discussed his experiences as the Best Buddies ambassador and how he's had the opportunity to meet both Tom Brady and Julian Edelman. Spread the Word to End the Word had an extremely positive impact on our school and is a cause we're standing behind. We thank our student council and best buddies for such a great assembly.
And now here's a continuation of our new teacher interview segment from the last episode.
So how was your first year at Oxford so far?
So far, so good. It's been great. I was nervous leaving my old job because I loved it there, but I moved to Dudley and I worked close to New Hampshire, so it was a really long commute. So I felt like, I was never going to have like the same friends that I had, like teacher friends before, but the community has been really wonderful and welcoming, and the kids are great, but kids are great everywhere.
Yeah. So do you have any highlights of your job?
I think I was thinking about this and I was like, I guess I haven't thought about that much. But then I was thinking back to last weekend. So one of my classes is a sophomore English class. And so we've been training all year to get ready for the MCAS. And when we came back to get feedback from the students, I had one student who came after school to tell me how, great she thought she did, and, that she used all of the strategies that we had taught her on the test, and that's why, she felt like she did really well. And when we got feedback from the students, we had some that said, actually, I felt pretty prepared. So that was rewarding, because when we were doing a lot of it, the students were always very excited about what we were doing.
Hi, I'm Ross Tomasevich, sitting here with Mr. Kurtizak. So, Mr. Kurtizak, how about you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I'm a physics teacher here, and it's my first year at Oxford High School. It's been a pleasure being here so far this year. I've taught physics for about 10 years now, and have a very strong passion for sciences and for physics, and for teaching young students about our physical world, so they can kind of become curious about it and learn more about it.
So that's what inspired you to be a teacher then?
That's actually right, yes. My father actually was a physics teacher also. And early when I was young, I had a lot of questions, like why was the sky blue? How does a rainbow work? Those sorts of things. And him having been a physics teacher, he had a lot of knowledge about answers to a lot of those questions. It made me very interested and very curious. So he definitely fueled my passion for finding answers out to questions that most people didn't have an answer to. And I found that very rewarding. And once I went through college, I actually started tutoring at the tutoring center at UMass Lowell, and found it even more satisfying to help the students that were starting out in their physics classes. And I was a little older than them at the time, and was able to help them and answer their questions and enjoy, inspiring them to answer some difficult questions and work through some of their challenges. And actually at that point I had wanted to be a mechanical engineer, but found it so enjoyable to tutor, and decided to change my plan and become a high school teacher at that point.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for your time.
Now we're going to toss things over to Kiana Kinchin, who has a story on the Easter pancake breakfast.
At the beginning of April, the class of 2017 in Yearbook Committee held the Easter Bunny breakfast for the community. I reached out to a few people who had helped with the breakfast to receive some feedback. Secretary of the class of 2017, Danielle Cruces, cheerfully stated, "The Easter Bunny breakfast was a fun event for the kids and everybody involved. Watching all the kids get excited to see the Easter Bunny and hunt for Easter eggs was exciting. This breakfast goes on every year and should be continued because it is a good cause and raises money for the classes as well. This year, the money made was split between Yearbook and the class of 2017.
And now over to new reporter Michael Blake with a story on the Senior Pie in the Face fundraiser.
On April 13th, the senior class held the first ever Pie Teacher or Senior in the Face fundraiser. The money collected went into helping the senior class with the end of the year costs. Students and staff were able to buy tickets the week leading up to the event and put them in a senior or staff bucket. This successful new idea was originated by Mr. Connery and Brooke Story. Initially, 20 teachers participated, with only 4 getting pied. In 4th place, Mr. Kachari, 3rd place, Mr. Gill, 2nd place, Mr. Whitaker, And in first place, Mr. Tebow, who alone raised $300. 13 seniors in the running to be pied, but only 3 made it to the stage. Third place was Amanda Fradsham. Second place, Justin Tessier. First place was Brooke Story. The senior class would like to thank everyone for enthusiastic participation and support in this fundraiser, which earned the class almost $1,000. Great work, everyone.
And now, the moment we have all been waiting for.
An exclusive interview
With Ross Tomasevich.
and Principal Ross Tebow.
Ross Squared.
Hi, I'm Ross, CNN Tomasevich, sitting here with Mr. Tebow, the principal of Oxford High School. How would you describe your leadership style?
Well, I think, as a leader, I try and communicate clearly with all of the stakeholders here in Oxford, students, parents, faculty members, support staff, and I try and lead by example. But what I've tried to establish over my 3 years here, Ross, is that we are a school that's focused, that is student focused and student centered. So every decision I make, every decision that teachers make, really should be in the best interest of our students. And that's kind of the culture I've tried to build here at Oxford High School, and will continue to try and build right up until my very last day.
Are there any specific areas of the school that you focus more on, or are you kind of everything gets just as much?
Well, as the principal, my primary focus has been on instruction and improving instruction since I got here at Oxford High School. But we've also, as I said, we've tried to make it a student-centered school. So you'll recall in your freshman year, there were very few electives that were available to students. There were only 4 advanced placement courses offered here at Oxford High School. And this year we have 13 that are offered. Next year we'll have 15 that are offered. They include advanced placement coursework that are, in the arts. We're adding AP 2D specifically for digital photography, and that's a program that has grown over the last couple of years. Mrs. Moynier does a fantastic job, and she was fortunate to receive a grant from the Smolensky Millett Trust Fund again this year that continues to help us build that program. So in terms of where I focus, I don't think I focus my time or energy in any one particular program over another. It's about building opportunity for all students, and making sure that all of the programs and all of the courses that are offered are of high interest, high rigor, and our students have an exceptional experience. That's really what I've been trying to do.
Absolutely. And what steps should an individual take if they are interested in becoming an educator?
Well, the first step is obviously to continue your education once you graduate from Oxford High School and go off to college. And there's a couple of different pathways someone could take to become an educator. You could major in education as well as a content area if you wanted to become a high school teacher. Or you could just major in a content area and do your student teaching as a graduate student. So there's a couple of different pathways that someone could take. But I think it's important that if you want to become a teacher, you're passionate about, at least if you want to become a high school teacher, you're passionate about a particular content area. For me, that was history. For you, it might be journalism.
Maybe. We'll never know. Well, thank you, Mr. Tebow, for your time. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Ross.
As you may or may not know, this will be the last episode of the Pirate News for all of us seniors. So as we sign off,
I'm Aiden Rawson.
I'm Brooke Story.
I'm Kiana Kinchin.
I'm Jack Simon.
I'm Alex Jones. I'm Michael McCarthy.
I'm Michael Warren. I'm Tim Williamson.
I'm Megan Westerly.
And I'm Ross Tomasevich.
In all seriousness, we'd like to give a huge thank you to Miss Krantz, Mr. Generico, anyone else that's helped with this production. Truly, this was a great new idea that we really wanted to vitalize into our high school, and without the help of Miss Krantz and Mr. Generico, it would not have been possible. So thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks
Bye.
for watching.